The Audi Q7 will soon make its debut in the United States, and Audi brand specialists need the right story to tell customers in order to change their minds about clean diesel. The right story about clean diesel can be told, and in fact it was, at the Bosch Proving Grounds on a sunny autumn Saturday.
So I heard you say something right when you jumped out of the car, so let's start there. What did you say?
I said if you hadn't told us that this was a diesel truck, I would have never guessed it is.
I'm really surprised at how little noise you could hear from the inside because of it. Thinking it's a diesel, you would hear some noise to the engine, but you can almost hear nothing. So the perception to me was like I thought it was a gas engine.
Historically, I've heard a lot of negative things about a diesel, but I was very, very impressed with that particular car.
They rated the Audi Q7 TDI on a scale of 1 to 10 in the areas of safety, power, driving, handling, and prestige. The ratings weren't bad, but not exactly where Audi should be in the customer's minds. We also asked them to rate diesel engines on a scale of 1 to 10 in the following areas: power, drivability, noise, emissions, and reliability. That's about what you'd expect when you consider the perceptions.
Well, I've had experience with diesel engines having a military background and getting in and out of military vehicles with diesel engines. One outperforms another, but today, after today's driving of the Q7, I'm completely changed my opinion of diesel engines. I think they're fantastic. They're quiet, they're responsive, and that vehicle is a really neat vehicle.
So, there were some minds to change, and we changed them after they completed the driving exercises that demonstrated the Audi Q7 TDI's excellent performance, quietness, and clean emissions. It was a fair, objective evaluation.
This 20% grade and this 30% grade simulate a towing situation. And really there's no better way to measure a vehicle's low-end torque and power than this exercise here. What we've asked the participants to do is to apply enough pedal to comfortably ascend this hill. What we're after is how does the engine perform in that towing situation? Is it surging? Is it laboring? That's what we asked them.
I was impressed with the Audi because I think my perception was that being a smaller engine, it wouldn't have the same ability to ascend the hill, but it did very well.
The Audi definitely seemed like that could pull all day, so that was number one.
Surprise would have been the Audi. That did a lot better as a diesel than what I thought.
I think it surpassed on the hill climb by far all the other vehicles. So for towing and pulling, I think it's a perfect vehicle for that.
I'm here at the Bosch Proving Grounds at a quarter-mile straightaway where we're asking participants to accelerate from 0 to 40 miles an hour. Now keep in mind, we're not asking them to jam the pedal to the metal. It's more of a, hey, you're at a stoplight, safely accelerate the way we do every single day. Now we're asking them to key in on a few things here. Number one, we're asking them to evaluate the effort that the vehicle's taking to accelerate. Number two, we're asking them to evaluate the smoothness and ease of that acceleration. And then finally, we want them to keep an ear open for engine noise as well. Let's see what they think.
The Audi did actually very, very good. It had a little turbo lag at first, and then after it picked up, it took off quite well.
It was very quiet. You didn't know you were driving diesel.
All right, although this might seem uneventful, this particular exercise is actually quite telling. What we've asked participants to do is to navigate this plot of ground where we have gravel roads, dirt roads, potholes, and we want them to go around at a low rate of speed, evaluating not so much the engine, more so the structural integrity of the vehicle, the interior quiet, dynamic suspension, steering, and things like that. And as an added note, we did tell them that we also want them to keep an ear open for engine noise again too. Let's hear what they had to say.
The diesel was great. I figured noise banger, but it wasn't there. It was smooth. Quiet car for a diesel.
It's clean. It wasn't loud. I could not believe that car was a diesel. I mean, you couldn't have sold me on that.
I was surprised at the diesel also. I thought historically they've been loud and smelly, but it was a smooth ride and just as, seemed like the other car.
You've seen and heard the change in perceptions, but we also surveyed our participants after they drove every vehicle. The numbers don't lie, and neither did they. We surveyed them again, and every Audi Q7 score improved in every category. That was not the case with some of the competitors. Many of their scores dropped. Here's the before and after regarding safety, power, driving enjoyment, handling, and prestige. Safety. from 7.9 to 8.8. Power, from 7.8 to 8.7. Driving, from 8.0 to 8.6. Handling, from 7.8 to 8.7. Prestige, from 7.8 to 8.3. The same thing happened when they compared diesel. They came, they drove, they changed their minds. They changed their perceptions because they experienced diesel for themselves. And you could help your customers do the same thing in your dealerships. Need more proof? 50% of the participants said that the Audi Q7 most exceeded expectations. A landslide any way you look at it. What were your two, let's say, biggest surprises today?
I went in figuring I wasn't going to like the Audi, you know, because of the diesel and so forth.
It wouldn't have made my list of, when I'm looking at my next vehicle, I wouldn't have even considered it. And now I would, actually.
My son has a diesel truck, a Ford F-250. Very loud, very noisy, very smelly, and I was really impressed with the diesel here. It handled well, great performance, quiet, very nice.
I was pleasantly surprised at the acceleration, and the interior noise was very quiet for what we considered the old diesel engine. So
I work for the Detroit Police Department, and I'm an investigator. So there's a lot of vehicles that we drive for durability, and I was very impressed with everything about that vehicle. The safety, the braking, just overall how quiet it was. It performed well on the hill. It wasn't straining at all.
So there you have it. Do you think, based on what you saw today, that you can change the customer perceptions about diesel and the Audi Q7 TDI?